all here. Welcome everyone to a Moment of Harmony. I am so excited. Let me just get a little situated so I know we're all together, right? We're all ready for a beautiful moment. Sit down and dig in, get into our spirits, get into our weeks, get into some of the really important things as it pertains to our healing and our growth and our becoming. Right? Like we always do. That's what the moments are always about. We normally have a moment every Saturday. Every now and again, life will do what life does, and we will have to move the moment to a Sunday. This morning is a Sunday moment. Always give thanks to those that join me on those Sunday moments because as a busy mom, as a career woman, just as a lot of things rolled up into one whole being, I understand that Sundays are sacred, and that Sundays are family time. Sundays are for rituals and religion and spirituality for a lot of people. So I'm always saying so grateful for those of us that take the time out to come and join me on a Sunday moment. Happy Sunday moment all. Today's moment. So first, before I get into today's moment, y'all know I got to get my little announcements out. Say what I have to say. I want to shout out Chrissy, who is a really good friend, and Stephanie, great friends and new associates, new sisterhoods. And she's going out on her trip today. So safe travels, blessings, enjoy. Get a lot of moments. You know what I'm saying? Get a lot of moments. I'm going to need one of those. I need to borrow one of those when you get back. I want to give a shout out to Anani, my godson. Happy 4th birthday, Anani. I love you so much. Mama Harmony loves you. Anani is a best friend baby. Kunu. My little Kunu. That's my boy. And he is definitely made up of two of my best friends. So he is the homie. The baby is the homie. He's the homie baby. I love you, Anani. Been there from the beginning. Going to be rocking with you all the way through. So blessed to be a part of your life and so honored to be your godmother. Happy 4th birthday. Birthday shout out to Miss Soul, who's going to be also, she's going to be turning 3. I think is Soul going to be 4 too? I might be tripping. Soul might actually be 4 next year. I think they're a year apart. She's really smart to be just being 3 if that's the case. Happy birthday to Soul. I'm going to be hitting you up too, shorty. Making sure I bring the gifts through for you. Love you so much. So, I love you guys. Thank you so much, y'all, for being through my birthday wishes. But I got to love on my people while I got my people. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So we are moving in. We are in a reflection series. We are looking back at it. We are sankofaing our spirits, but we are doing it in a very intentional way. We are looking back for the purpose of healing and growth. We are reflecting. And we have been reflecting, y'all. And these reflections have been deep and provoking and invoking. And I'm just wanting to give all of you your big ups for y'all that really take the time out to do this work. It is hard work, guys. It is hard work and a major commitment to stop and say, I do want to be better. I want a better life. I want life to be better for those that I'm connected to, those that are around me, those things that come from me. I want them to be whole and healthy and happy. So, big ups to all of us that's been doing all of our look back at it work. Those of us that's been reflecting. Hard work. Today's session is going to be entitled Reflect on the Exit. Reflect on the exit. This is going to be a big one, guys. This is going to be a big one, and I'm going to break down in just a second why this is going to be a big one. I'm sorry, Mommy Mercy. Okay, little people still in my room, y'all. Mommy Mercy. I'm going to reflect. I'm going to go over why this reflection is going to be such a big one, right? First off, yesterday was an eclipse. It was a solar eclipse yesterday, y'all. Not only was it a solar eclipse, but it was a solar eclipse that happened on the same day, same weekend, same time span of a new moon in Libra. Everybody know that Libra is the scales. If you're into all of that, it's the scales. It's the balance, it's the imbalance, and it is the work for balance, okay? Did y'all survive that on Saturday? Those of us that are watching in real time, did you survive that eclipse yesterday and the new moon? I barely did. I barely survived yesterday. It was crazy. There were crazy occurrences leading up into that time frame, crazy results and occurrences coming after, right? But it leads me to our moment today on reflecting on our exits, because we had an eclipse, we had a passing by, we had a coming together, and we also had a new moon. In order to get something new, you know that there has to be an end. And it really, 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 really brought to surface and brought to light a lot of things that are coming to an impasse in life. A lot of things that are coming to an alignment that is requiring a rebirth. A lot of things. So I don't know if a lot of you are experiencing that. And some of you might be watching me sometime next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you might be a little bit further away from this weekend. But last week and just this whole time frame of moving into the new moon in Libra, are we feeling some things come to a head? Are we getting a revision of things, right? Because we also had like some planets in retrograde. Like it was a lot going on. So are we seeing revisiting issues, things that we've been pushing down or avoiding, and then just things coming to a head and getting to a place of just understanding that it is time to move differently. It is time to move forward differently. It is time to enter a new chapter. If you went through that and you were there with that this weekend, listen, this moment is especially for you. It is catered for you. It's catered to you and those of us that had those experiences. So we are new moon energy, and I want to talk about and I want to get in today how our exiting strategies, how we exit chapters, how we exit circumstances, how we did exit things, and how we can revisit those things in a way that can be very helpful for us today, that can be very healing for us today, and help with how we find closure and continuation, how we enter new chapters. I want us all to just understand chapters are monumental, they are inevitable, they are divine, they are the developing stepping tools of ourselves and our spirits, they are necessary. How we enter and exit chapters are so important to the chapter itself. And a lot of time we're just ready to get into the meat and bones. We're ready to get into the thick stuff of our next level, of our next lesson. We just want to be out of where we are, or we want to be into something new or better. But we aren't understanding that the exiting and the entering of things, this is why new moons come. This is why things in nature have cycles of closure and blossoming, or blossoming and hermiting, if you will. It is because it is not so much that the tree just is beautiful and purple or burgundy. There was a process there. It is not so much that the sun is just in full shine and at its height of in its capacity of operation. There is a process, right? There is a sunrise and a sunset. There is a process. And with us as healing beings, as individuals of light and love, we are not always embracing the process of exiting and entering new chapters, new mind frames, new experiences, right? We are just like crossing our fingers or praying our way through things, denying our way through things, being in denial, being angry and aggressive, definitely just choosing vibrations that are not honest, that are not true, that are not pure, that are not divine, and we're choosing to operate in them because we don't want to do the work of divine and spiritual exiting and entering. So today we're going to reflect on our exits. Those things, a lot of us are in places, have been in places, will be in places where it is our time to grow. It is our time to let go. It is our time to change, transition. That's the word. And how we are doing it is hurting it's hurting our direction, the chain of effect, the domino effect of the dysfunction and how we do it is hurting us. So when we're looking back on the closure that we're not getting from our parents, the closure that we aren't getting from certain childhood traumas and circumstances, the closures and things we aren't getting in today's life from different dreams and goal direction changes and ambitions and just thoughts. Guys, I swear, I'll be in February, I'll be 38. The time is ticking, right? The closer I get to 40, things change for me almost daily, weekly. The way I think about things, the way I feel about things. I can definitely remember in my adolescent just being more set in what I thought, what I believed, and just more concrete and a lot of my thought patterns and my behavioral patterns. The older I get and the closer I get to moving more into what I feel like is myself, my next level of self, it changes rapidly. Rapidly, I'm changing what I believe, what I think, what is my next move, my communication with self and source. My communication with self and source is on a whole nother level, and it is so much more extensive. And I'm really looking back on things and I'm trying to figure out why things, or not trying to figure out, let's say, more so evaluating why and how my today is based on some of the behaviors, patterns, characteristics of my yesterdays, of why I have the trauma responses that I have, why I result to some of my, I guess, self-soothing or coping mechanisms. That's the word I'm looking for. Why I resort to some of the coping mechanisms that I do and the things that push me towards coping mechanisms. Listen, it is a deep dive. And you know, so I'm at the point now where I'm saying, like, look, let us look back on the exit, the things that I'm not being able to find closure with. And when I say closure, I mean peace. A lot of times we think about closure as something that's already gone or done with, that we haven't found resolve with. But closure can also just be finding peace with something, finding understanding with something, finally coming in alignment with a circumstance, idea, theory, thought frame, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I want us to just get to a place where we are better at reflecting on our exits. Go back and look at the trauma that you're experiencing today, the pain, the pressure, and how can we not only look back but revamp that for how we move forward so that we are having more effortless transitions as we grow, because we're doing active work to grow, right, guys? We're deliberately growing. We're putting great emphasis on moving forward, healing, all of these things we're doing. So it's like, this is going to happen. The next level is going to come. If you're doing your work, the next level is going to come. The new opportunities are going to come. A next leveling of all of these things are inevitably going to happen. So are we going to be prepared? Have we gone back and done our work appropriately? Are we prepared to do our work appropriately moving forward? So reflecting on the exit. We're going to go through a number of things today in this session on reflecting on the exit. We're looking back on our exits. We're going to reflect on extending exits, expediting exits, experiencing our exits, and establishing entrances. Right? A lot of work to do today. But this work is definitely geared towards putting us in a better position. And I just want to give that disclaimer because sometimes work hurts. Sometimes work makes you begin to doubt. Work makes you feel fragile. It makes you, sometimes it can put your hope and your faith in jeopardy because of the amount of work that you're doing, the realities that you're entertaining within yourself. And so I want us to really I want us to really, really, really understand that all of those things are natural. All of those things, if you're going through a very painful, tumultuous healing process, I want you to know the healing is happening. We're going to go through all of our exiting today and our mind frames and our thoughts and some tools with exiting so that we can get to a place of re-existing. And I want us to remember that for when times begin to get very painful, when revisiting thoughts, ideas, or even evaluating current circumstances gets to be really difficult. I want us to just keep in mind that reflecting on the exit will move us towards the re-existence. Reflecting on the exit will heal us towards the re-existence. So when you're getting to those points and those places where you're just like, this is too much. This is really too much to unpack. This is really too much to deal with. I'm just flat out exhausted with this whole process because, my God, it can be like that. I'm just flat out exhausted with this process. I want us to say, let's look at the exit. And let's not be afraid to reflect on the exit, because reflecting on the exit heals us towards the re-existence. And that's what every new level is about. Every new level is about the re-emergence, the re-existing of self, the re-existing of truth, the re-existing of life, the continuation of divine energy expressing itself in your physical form of your life and your identity. That's what we're moving towards. So, extending our exit. A lot of us are having a hard time with exiting or accepting our exits. Acknowledging that it is time to exit a certain circumstance, situation, or chapter. A lot of us are having a hard time with that because we are not ready. We're living in fear. Everything around our exits are fear, because we're not seeing our exits so much as transitions as we are seeing them as endings. And once we get to the point of seeing an exit as a transition, not the end of the road, not the end of a chapter, but the transitioning into new, we will be at a more relinquishing place. We'll revel and relinquish. We will worry less. We will fear less. We will fret less when we say, you know what? I don't know what. This is changing. My life is changing. This relationship is changing. My thoughts and beliefs are changing. My behaviors, myself, my person is changing. My goals are changing. Things are changing. And I'm becoming so afraid of things changing because of the unknown. Because familiar keeps us safe. Familiar keeps us still. And a still boat, it feels better than a rocky boat. But I'm here to tell you today, everyone, people, loves that a rocky boat is a moving boat. And a lot of us are afraid. We're afraid of the moving boat. What does my life look like once this boat takes off? Who are the people that won't be a part of the story? Who will be a part of previous chapters but not the rest? Is scary. What of my dreams and ambitions that included the connections to others, that if I change my dreams, if I change my goals, if I change my ambitions that were connected to others, what will that be like? What will that look like? So we extend these exits, relationships, friendships, partnerships, what is it? Contacts, networks. Like, we just will extend our exits out of fear of disappointing others, fear of the unknown, fear of the motion. And I want us to get to a point where we not only look back at exits that turned out great for us, that seemed disabling and destructive in term or in at the moment, but definitely worked out in our favor. Excuse me. We may look back and say, I would have done it differently, but I wouldn't have not done that. I wouldn't have not left that. I wouldn't have not stopped that or restarted that. I want us to be able to look on how we exited in a way so that we can get past the point of extending. So listen, I want us to think about, I have a couple of analogies. Y'all know I like my metaphors and my analogies. I love them so much. I want us to think back on, hold on, Mommy Mercy, beautiful. We can all hear you. And Mommy's streaming, okay? Please stop. Thank you. All right, Mommy Mercy, y'all. I want us to look back on, I want us to think back. I'm sorry. I want us to think about, there's a building and the building is on fire and we need to get out of it. It may not be on our floor yet, but we can smell smoke. We can hear the alarms. We can see people, we can hear people screaming. And when we get ready to exit ourselves, we get ready to leave. But instead of jumping right out of, what is it called? The ladder, an escape route or the escape ladder, instead of being able to just get right out on the route, let's say we leave the building and there's another building that we have to go through. And then this building has a tunnel and we go through this tunnel, right? What we really needed at that particular time was to escape that situation. We needed to leave this building. But because, we may have been afraid if we would just take this escape route or we go into this escape route and it's so much longer than we wanted it to be, it continues to expose us to the dangers and the harms of the whole reason we need to exit anyway. I want us to definitely evaluate when we're thinking about life. We're thinking about if it's time to transition this job or if it's time to take on a promotion, if it's time to exit a circle, if it's time to expand in another way. A lot of times we will extend our exit instead of expand our new horizons. A lot of us will resort to that. And we don't want to necessarily say that we will. We don't want to think that we will. A lot of us work very hard on being brave and forward moving. But we are. I'm watching us. I'm experiencing. I'm also in my healing sessions privately. I am seeing where we know, we hear the alarm. We hear the smoke detector. People are screaming around us. And because the floor we are is not an exact fire, we haven't had a tower moment that pushes us out of the building. We extend our exit. We begin to pick up things and, okay, the fire is not yet where I want it to be. So let me just grab some, oh my God, let me get these plaque off the wall. Let me get these pictures. Let me go back and get this bag. Or, I had some money hidden up. I had some jewelry. We extend the exit. We halt the forward motion because we are afraid to expand our horizons. We don't know what's on the other side. So even though this building is on fire, we are familiar with the building. We grew, we worked, we lived, we dwelled. Our surroundings are here. And so we will stay where there is smoke and alarm and fear and chaos. Because even though when I get on the other side, I'd rather go through all of this tunnel. I'd rather go through all of this, jump off this building to this building to this building, because it keeps me connected to the building that I'm familiar with. We extend our exits. We don't leave right away. We don't take our time to appropriately assess what's actually happening. We immediately go into fear. There are so many times that our exits are tainted. Our exits are dysfunctional. Our exits are harmful to us because we immediately start to operate in fear. Fear of what we'll lose. Fear of what we don't have. Fear of what will be said about us. Fear of what will be seen about us. Fear. And then we will extend an exit trying to change it. Trying to grab things that we can hold on to, trying to find something to hold on to, trying to find another reason to stay longer in this building. Let me get a cup of water. If the fire does reach up here, I'll put it out with this cup of water, extending your exit. Okay, so you put some fire reaches you. You wave a towel at the smoke. You prolong the burning down of where you are, but you have not stopped it from happening. You are extending your exit. And this is where smoke inhalation kills people. This is where people having to jump or take extreme measures at the last minute. Jumping without rope or assistance from firefighters or like parachutes or things to that nature that can help. This is where the extreme measures come into place because we have extended our exit. And then when we finally get a tower moment, when we finally get to the point where there's no other option, now we have to make a move of desperation. It's tainting our exits. The desperation exits are traumatizing us. So when it comes time to expand and go into the new horizon, we can't even. Have you ever seen people after a fire and they may have the blankets around them and firefighters arrive and people arrive to help them? They are in a daze. They can't even fully take in that they've been saved, that help is here, that they're still alive, that they're on their way to a new destination, which is a hospital, where there is safety, where there is help, where there is calm, because it's so traumatized by this unexpected fire, by this extended exit that hurt them more, their lungs, hurt their bodies, hurt their experience. Guys, I know I'm in a long metaphor, right? But I really want us to take in account how exiting wrong is damaging us long term. We can't fully appreciate the Creator is pulling us towards new. The Creator is pulling us towards next levels, towards better. The Creator is trying to create for us something for our next level of self, trying to graduate us on so many ways, but we're extending exits. We are so afraid to leave and let go. We are so afraid to start anew. We are afraid to trust our new abilities and our newly acquired experience, the steps that our newly acquired experiences have prepared us for. A lot of us, when we think about, like, you know what? The season that I've been in, it's preparing me. It's been preparing me for new business opportunities. I have experience and wisdom under my belt. I have some certifications now. I'm still extending the exit from the old. It's been preparing me for new relationships, red flags, what to look out for, what to not take part in, how to be more patient or communicative, things to not sweep under the rug, things to not let go. I've been being prepared for the next level, for the new lesson, season. But I've been extending the exit of the old. And if I would just stop and have faith. Now I want us to go back, guys. I want us to go back into exits of the past. What if I told you that your exiting patterns of today, right now today, are directly linked, connected to, reflecting, and mirroring all of the exit patterns of your yesterdays? How you left, why you left, how you transitioned, how you moved, how people left you, how people exited in your life, how people taught you and showed you how to deal with growth. There were a lot of people in your development. For many of us, maybe not everyone, but for many of us, there were a lot of people who cowered around growth and success, who cowered around endurance and development, who were afraid. I just read the quote again. I can't remember the person that does the quote, but I just saw it on Facebook again. I've heard it 100,000 times and I love it. Our fear is not failure. Our fear is not that we will be for failure. Our fear is not that we will fail. Our fear is that we are successful or will be successful beyond measure. Because of the trauma that's been put on us as a people and as a society, as a culture, becoming our best selves, reconnecting with our spiritual lineage, our culture, our ways of being have been looked at as taboo, have been looked at as crazy, sadistic, and voodoo and black magic and all of these things about our cultural experiences and the way that we've done things. So we continue to always adopt to a culture that is not innately ours per se. And when you do that, when you operate solely in a culture that is not yours, you are set up to fail. So going after yourself, going after your light, going after your growth has to be a courageous mission. That's a courageous mission. It is courageous to say, I will become all that I am meant to become. I will outgrow small and little mind frames. I will outgrow traumas and curses generationally. I will step out and I will expand myself and I will go into unknown territory and I will have faith. I will have faith in where the Creator is taking me. And as He removes, I will exit appropriately. And as He introduces, I will enter appropriately. Many of us did not learn those things. So when it is time to leave, we stay sometimes too long. Or when it is time to leave, we leave. Or when it is time to learn, we leave. When it's time to learn, we leave. Prematurely, abruptly, damagingly. Listen, y'all, I'm not preaching. I'm sharing. I'm sharing with you. So we get into where we extend these exits and they hurt us. The Creator has spoken. It is time for you to move. It is time for you to leave. It is time for you to grow. Look, sometimes the exit is growing from an old self, an old operation, an old reality to a new. You may stay in the same business. You may stay in the same marriage. You may stay in the same sister circle or brother circle. You may stay with the same church or a school or organization. And it's saying it's time for you to exit the way that you were. It is time for you to enter new role, new responsibility, new operation. And sometimes the exit is a clean, closed door. A clean, closed door, guys. Like I said, we had that eclipse yesterday and a new moon. All in the same weekend. All in the same Friday, Saturday. And if it did not shake up things for you, I'm talking about those seeking healing, those talking to the Creator diligently and desperately, saying, please fix it, move it, help it, make it, take it. If it did, it's time for us to reflect on the exit. Reflect on how we leave, how we want to do things. Oh my gosh, an immaturity. If we would have just been wise enough to look more and better on how we did what we did, as opposed to what we did. Many of us have no regrets around the actions. The regrets are around the how. We did what we had to do. We did what we needed to do. We did what helped us, what served us, for many of us. But how, right? Reflect on the exits. Now, so we talked about extending the exit and how harmful that can be. Prolonging it next year, year after next, after the children are grown, after I get this next degree, after this semester, after this term, after this reevaluation, right? After this raise, after this conference, after Christmas, extending it. What happens when you stay in a building that's on fire and the alarm is going off and smoke is coming through the vents? The fire has not reached you yet, but the smoke has. The trauma has. The fear has. We extended our exits, guys. We're extending them out of fear. It's hurting us. It's hurting us. It's hurting us, and it's slowing down. It's slowing down the things that we don't give a chance to, the things that we won't give energy to, the things that we won't take part in because we haven't exited. We haven't exited. Here's the next side of that. There's a flip side. My God, there's always balance to these things. Expediting our exits. So here's the next thing. We're in the building. Very similar analogy. We're in the building. Some alarms may be going off. Might not hear screaming yet. Might not smell any smoke yet, but the alarm has gone off. And immediately we get out, we jump, we look out the window, we see the fire escape, we go down it, we're out. There were things that would be revealed in the exit. Meaning, let me say in this analogy, y'all know my brain is working 3 times at once. We'll go to the next one. Expediting an exit can be just as harmful as extending an exit. I'm talking about balance, people. I'm talking about reflection. That's why I'm saying in this series, reflect on your exit. Look back into your patterns of exiting. Look back into your history and your development with exiting and entering. And look in on what you are doing. Is your exiting moving to your re-existence? The way you exit, will it contribute positively to how you will re-emerge? Or will you walk into your new space in shame? Will you walk into your next level with your head low? Will you walk into your next level broken or hopeless? If so, then we did not exit correctly. We either extended it or expedited it. So thinking about a fire that is just getting started soon as the alarm goes off. How many of us have been in a home where the frying pan starts to smoke up a little bit and your smoke alarm goes off? So many of us will go get a broom or a board, a photo, whatever we can do, frame, and we'll fan the smoke detector. No harm, no foul. Cut the fan on over the stove, cut things off. Imagine having that same smoke detector go off and you grab your kids and you grab your purse and you run right out the door. That was expediting an exit. That is the opposite, but extreme. It is the extreme of the extension. And we all know extremes are imbalanced. They're imbalanced. So when it comes to an expedite of an exit, there are things that you could save. The fire started down here. I could grab my child. I might have time to grab my coat. There are things that could be salvaged. There are things that can be remedied. There are lessons that can be learned. healing conversations that can be had, closures. But we expedite. We don't like the way that it feels when that alarm goes off. We've been burned before. So we only need a second of a deep, 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 deep before we get the heckles, speckles up out of there. But this fire was different. But this alarm was different. You could fan this smoke. You could put more attention onto what you're cooking. You can focus. You can make sure it doesn't go off again. We're talking about inappropriately exiting. It's look like something. This feels like something. This makes me feel away. Trust me, y'all. I ain't preaching. It's hard to sit in a hot kitchen. You know what they say? If it's too hot in the kitchen, don't come in the kitchen if you can't stand the heat or something. Get out the kitchen if you can't stand the heat. It's hard to sit in a hot kitchen. Sometimes when it gets hot, it's getting real. Sometimes when it's getting heavy, it's about to break. But we feel it and we run. We exit. We expedite the exit. We move before we can get. Now, when I talk about things being revealed in exits, why they should be done in balance, why they should be done in harmony, why they should be done with reflection and intention and maturity, as much as we can salvage and grow. Because I want everyone to think about when you're leaving a movie. Like, think about when we all watched a really great movie, a thriller, one of those movies that makes you think and you got to put things together. Those are my favorite types of movies, right? And you're just like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I didn't. Think about when everyone's leaving that movie and how it's like, you know what? I thought about when she put the thing on the thing, and think about all the revelations that are happening as we are exiting the movie theater. Think about when you're leaving an event, a wedding or a birthday party or something great. You get all the true thoughts. You get the 2020 of you get the 2020 of the situation as everyone is exiting. It's, I wasn't enough food. I'm still hungry. Oh, that was so great. Oh, I really needed to dance. Oh, that was so funny. All the revelations and all the coming together, the 2020 of it happened at the exit. So many of us are exiting in fear and not in reflection. We're exiting in fear. So we're grabbing things, or we're leaving things. We're moving fast, or we're dragging in denial. But we aren't reflecting. We aren't moving in peace and confidence and courage. We aren't saying, you know what, I'm sorry that this is what it is. I wish that things would not have gotten to the point that they are. But what I do know is that I'm grateful for X, Y, and Z. I learned LMNOP. And in moving forward, I don't need that. And I do need this reflection. Now, when I exit in order to reemerge, in order to re-exist, when I exit in order to re-exist, guys, I'm talking about putting spirituality in your exit. Think about the word exit, E-X-I-T, and the word exist, E-X-I-S-T. The only difference is the S. The only difference between your exit and your existence, or your exit and the exist, is your spirituality and how it happens. The only difference is that S in the word exit. It is your spirituality. How you exit determines how you'll exist in the next chapter, in the next line, the next week, the next realm. Your exit matters. So we don't want to extend it. We don't want to expedite it. We want to have balance with our exits. That is us experiencing the exit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Experience your exit. This is going to make me so emotional, guys, because I have had a year. I keep talking about it. I feel like it's going into 2 years at this point. Transformation is real. If you ask for it, you will get it. That's why they also have this saying, be careful what you ask for. You want to be at your divine zenith. You want to be at your height of existence and self. You going to get broken down and get built up, child. Experience your exit. I want someone to just say, let me experience it. We want to run from it. That's the expediting. We want to extend it. That's the denial, fear, and pain. And we should just experience it. Those of us that have experienced loss and transition and change, it is painful. It is brutal. It is full of truths about you. It is full of truths about your journey. It is full of truths about your atmosphere, your environment, your surroundings. Ooh, it takes big boy, big girl panties. Underwear. Men don't have those, right? It takes that. So I want us to have the courage to say, when it comes time for me to reflect, should I? Shouldn't I? What happened? How did we get here? What is going to happen next? I want us to just be, let me experience the exit. Let me have courage. Let me hold on to hope and faith. Let me give what I can to this exit when I can. I want to run. I don't want to talk. I don't want to exchange. I just want to be done. Let me have the courage to give exchange to this exit to the degree in which it's necessary to serve my re-existence. What is important to me? Oh my gosh. We talked about this in the last moment. We talked about, what is it? Dr. Phil saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Let me not get so caught up in you're wrong and I'm right in this detail and this exact detail and you're playing. Let me just really try to get to the point of this. What is important to me? It's important that you understand. It's important that this is known. It's important. What is important about this next transition? What is important that you can, what is so important that you can put your finger on and you can have closure and finality with so that you can re-emerge and re-exist? I'm moving towards re-existence, y'all. You can hold me if you want to my growth and my flaws, my shortcomings, my misunderstandings. But I am moving towards re-existence. And therefore, I will control and redirect and realign how I exit. When I exit, who exits with me? I won't extend nor expedite. I will experience. I'm just experiencing it. If I'm moved to communicate, I will communicate. I won't fight. I won't hold back. If I am moved to isolate, I will isolate. To nurture, to cater, to tend, I will go through this experience. I will look back over the things that I need to focus on. I will go back and sing Kofa into other exitings of my life. People who left me. People who abandoned me. People who could not stand the heat of the kitchen of life as it pertained to me. And I will reflect on that courageously, lovingly, understandingly, hopefully, so that I can change the way this exit looks. I have control over what this. No more burning bridges, just building and reconstructing. I'm not burning a bridge. I want to reconstruct the bridge. I'm going to a new level. I'm re-existing. A part of experiencing your exit, truthfully, honestly, beautifully, freeingly. Oh my God, somebody say freedom. Experiencing your exit in a beautiful way helps to establish your next entrance. I could leave, listen, I could run from this burning building screaming with one shoe off and half of a bag of food in my hand and tears running down my face and my hero fret. Excuse me. When I get to the hospital and to my next place, people gonna come, they're gonna sing psych down. They're gonna send a psych ward down here. They're gonna send a chaplain down here. They're gonna send all types of people down here because they don't know what state I'm in. Or I could gather my courage, my calm, my faith, and I could exit this building with strategy and true honesty. You know what? I know exactly where this fire is. I probably have enough time to grab this heirloom. I'm going to grab my coat. I'm going downstairs. I'm going to climb down this ladder in a manner that is not going to cause me to fall, break a leg, break my neck, because I'm moving in a balanced manner. Even though the alarm is going off, even though smoke is coming, and even though people are screaming, I would like to establish an entrance that interests me. You set the building on fire, you don't determine if I leave out of here half empty or half full. I do. I can't control that there's been a fire. I can't stop that the building is going down. The dreams are falling apart. The mission is coming to an end. The plans aren't what they were. I can't control that. But I do control how I exit. And my exit establishes my entrance into my next level. And I do want to do that. I do want to be able to open up to my next person. I do want to be able to embrace new circles, new experiences wholeheartedly. I can keep my wisdom, but I don't have to take the weary. I control the exit. I do want to start off at this new school or this new job with all that I've learned and not taking anything that I don't need. The pettiness, the backstabbing. I don't need none of that, but I learned a lot. I would like to move and establish an entrance that is grand and serves my interests. I would like to establish an entrance that has all of my wisdom, none of my weary, and leaves me ready to work. Somebody say, I'm ready to work. You can't be ready to work broke down, beat down, dragged out. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to build an empire with my career. I'm ready to work. I'm ready for my wisdom to work for me. I'm ready to build a relationship, a complementary relationship that will take myself and my family to another level of peace and joy and happiness. I am ready to work on vocations and goals and dreams and ways that will expand me to the next level. That I will be able to look to my back then self and say, I remember when you were just starting, you were just trying, you didn't know how, you didn't know what. For a lot of people, you've been in your first real anything, first real job, first time being a biological parent, first time being in a serious committed relationship, first love of your life for real. Listen, give yourself the grace to exit and to transform and to change. Give yourself the courage. Reflect on your exit. Establish an entrance. Because establishing your entrance, a lot of times we don't know that the exit is connected to the entrance. So we leave any kind of way, or we don't leave at all, or we leave in denial, or we leave in pain, or we leave in anger. It's directly the exit Directly reflection of the entrance. Who, if I want to go into something better, I'm going to have to leave out of this thing better. If I want to go into something grown, I'm going to have to leave out of this thing grown. If I want to go into something whole, I got to leave out of this thing whole. How do I get whole? What moves and which ways establish an entrance? Establish your new entrance with your exit. The Creator knows. See, a lot of people want to act like they don't know what you've done, who you are, what you've given, where you've grown. The Creator knows your heart, knows your intention, knows your focus, knows your work, why you're getting the exit. This is why you're getting the exit notice. This is why you're getting your exit slip. So that now you can look and establish an entrance. Listen, it's waiting for you. Your reemergence, your new existence. But remember, reflecting on the exit directly reflects the new existence. Re-exist. Don't expedite it. Don't extend it. Don't extend it. Don't expedite it. Just experience it. Establish your new entrance and then re-exist. And it goes just like that, shorty. I love you all so much. So many changes are coming for us as we are continuing to navigate through the fall season. There are so many things happening. So many feelings going to be coming up. Family time. Oh my gosh, guys. It's that time. Not only that, but we're months, not even a bunch of them, months away from our new year. So the prayer and purge is underway, guys. Let's us already begin to get a hold on how we exit, how we experience them, how we expand, establish new entrances, and re-exist. I love you all so much. I'll see you next week for another moment of harmony. Thank you so much.